Hello and welcome to Hanging Out on Monday Nights. We have a special show tonight. We're going to do a bit of a DJX recap that you all will probably see before the DJ Expo 2026.
If you're lucky.
But this is what it was like back in 2024. And many of us were there. Well, four of us were there anyway. John was there. Jay was there for most of it. Yep. And Bill was there. I was there.
Yeah. Mr. Jazz was there. And
Mr. Jazz was there. Yes. Freddie, he's off camera, but he was there. So anybody want to kick this one off? What do you think of the show this year?
I had an outstanding time. I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
From the minute I left home to picking up a good friend at the airport and not having two others, acquaintance types show up.
Unfortunately.
No, it was, from 3 or 4 weeks before, I was already ready to go. I had not very, big expectations as far as how much I was going to be doing seminar wise and show floor wise. I was letting myself be happily surprised, by how that went. I was just there for the social aspect, hoping, to hang out with some folks, get some dinners, get some lunches. And, that was it. Lo and behold, I, go to a couple of seminars on Monday and, learned a few new things and reaffirmed a lot of things, and then went to the last two seminars of the day, which were both hosted by Color Key and then Alpha Theta Pioneer, and didn't win anything in the Color Key one, although they tried. They did have my card and someone else's, and they used the other person's, which was fine. Then in the Pioneer one, someone says I want a speaker, but pretty awesome, cool tour.
Let me just interject here before you go any further. And I was Bill's roomie, and I was the guy Bill picked up from the airport. And let me tell you something. Bill's a brother. Bill's a friend. Bill took care of me, and I needed to be taken care of this year. And I think Bill knew it, and Bill hooked me up. And what a great friend, what a great host. Thank you so much, Bill, for all you did for me. I owe you a lot. Thank you so much. For real. And did we have fun or what, man?
Yeah.
Monday night? Holy man. Monday night, we had a blast. Didn't we?
Yeah.
We were party hopping. We had chicks. Nobody had chicks. We had chicks.
Yep.
That was cool.
Chicks,
they were someone else's, but they were, still.
They weren't ours, but we were traveling. We had traveling.
That's illegal in New Jersey, by the way, but we're not.
No. It was
edit that out.
Yeah.
They were
unless they named Chanel.
No.
So did you find Stilettos
That's another video.
busy? Was Stilettos busy or was it quiet?
Wasn't there on a Monday. In fact, it's closed on Mondays.
Oh,
anybody
just
that's
testing.
a professional.
Just testing. There you go.
Yeah.
We went, well, Bill and I decided we were unsure what we wanted to do on Monday. We're like, I don't know if we want to go anywhere or not. And I'd ran into Michael from Vibo in the elevator, and he wanted to have a little powwow. So I got together with Michael for a minute. And then I ran into our friend Stephanie. And I'm like, hey, Bill and I were talking about going to this party. And she's like, wow, we didn't know what we were doing tonight. It was my friend Diana and I were talking about doing something. I'm like, well, let's
go to the Claridge?
Bill. Huh?
Was it the Claridge one?
Started there.
There. We went there, and that was cool. And it was, the sky was trippy. It was like the clouds were right over your head, and the wind was blowing. But it was a beautiful night. And we ran into a lot of people there. A whole bunch of people were there. And we said hi and did a bunch of pictures with people. And then Diana pops up and says, hey, let's get out of here. We got VIP at the club. So we bounced after what, about a half hour?
Yeah,
45 minutes?
barely there long enough for me to finish the beer that Gabby from ProX bought me.
And we went to this other party and we were in the VIP booth there for, I don't know, a little while, and that was fun. And bounced around and saw some other went to some other I ended up in Joe Bunn's VIP booth. And I was bouncing all over the place. It was fun. Met a lot of people, ran into a lot of people. It was super cool. Super cool.
Very nice.
So yeah, that was just
This is
that was
Sunday
Monday.
night, right?
That was Monday.
That was Monday
Oh,
night.
that was Monday. Okay.
That was Monday.
You were still, well, you were there by then.
I got in at like 6:15.
Yeah,
We
you
We
were
had our
probably in
dinner.
bed by like 6:30, right?
It felt like it. I think I got to bed at like midnight.
Ugh.
I think.
That's early for you.
Yeah.
Man, Jay really had it rough this year trying to get in. And it was a lot of flight cancellations just to
Insanity.
give you the Reader's Digest so we don't
Anyone flying American to Philly on Saturday, Sunday, and parts of Monday didn't get there.
Yeah.
I talked with Gerald Webb. Gerald Webb used to work with Pioneer DJ. Gerald Webb is an actor. He is credited in probably 50 of those, you know, the movies where they go to a lake, but somehow there's a 3-headed shark that is in the lake.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Gerald
he's
is
that
in
guy.
Gerald's been in, I think, both or all 3 Sharknadoes.
Oh
boy.
Okay.
I think he
All right,
produced
all right.
one of them.
He legitimately is a full-time actor and
Okay,
has,
so what about the airplanes?
you know, but he didn't get in either. He was telling me, and he's like executive VIP platinum, and he couldn't pull it off. And no one would explain what the deal was. Everyone blamed
It was
it
an
on Webb.
American thing.
It was an American thing.
Yeah.
But here's the catch. If you didn't know this, the airline has to refund you if they make a mistake. Well, guess what? Weather is not a mistake.
Right.
So on a crystal clear sunny morning, it was weather.
Yeah. Somewhere else.
And yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I had the same crap flying out, but that is neither here nor there.
No, no. And I don't want to steal from Bill, but I do want to say, as you tell the story of your seminar, I think it's only fair to the listeners and viewers that you let them know what a little word called retribution and what that word means to you. You know what I'm talking about?
Me?
You.
Are we talking about?
We are talking about. We are
what
talking.
I didn't get 5, 6, 7 years ago.
And just because you're man enough to admit why you didn't get it then, if you just want to elaborate a little for the audience.
So the thing you don't ever want to do when you're in a seminar where they're going to be giving things away at the end of the seminar, you don't want to answer your phone when you see, even if you see that it is a client that is calling and you know they are calling to pay you money.
Oh, so you ran out of the room to take the call?
Just let that go to voicemail. Because when you do take the phone call and you do walk out of the room and get their credit card payment from them, you end up missing when your name is drawn for a Pioneer DDJ 1000 SRT.
And
Okay,
I
you
called.
also mentioned this earlier.
Hey, Bill Walsh, my buddy Bill. Where's Bill? Bill Walsh.
Bill? Yeah.
Bill? No? Sorry, Bill.
Sorry,
Next
Bill.
name.
You get nothing.
Yeah. So I was really stoked on Monday night when I finally got there to hear. I'm like, how'd the giveaways go? They're like, well, one dude's really anxious about his record box license. His name is Chris. And he said he knows you. I'm like, he seemed kind of really anxious. They're like, yeah. I'm like, Chris Fox, maybe? Like, yeah, that's him. He's from San Diego. I'm like, yep. So he won like a $400 record box license.
Nice.
Oh,
He won the whole suite. And then
Nice.
they're like, I'm like, what else? They're like, oh, your buddy Bill won the Wave 8. I'm like, Bill Marsh? They're like, yeah. I'm like, finally. He won the 1000 SRT, and
There
I
you
called it, and he took off. I gave Brian K. Brian K. won a controller when we were over at the convention center.
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
and I had to give him that, and he's still using it.
Yes, he
It's his
is.
full-time rig.
Yeah.
So I was stoked to hear that you won the Wave 8. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Messenger. I'll take care of it for you.
I like it.
Yeah, I will once it arrives. I'm hoping they'll send me a tracking number because out here in the rural sticks.
I will tell you this. I'm in the midst of an email right now. Our shipper, the gear from that show won't arrive back in Cali until Friday.
Okay.
So, we also start the road show next week.
Mm.
So make sure you just give it another week, and then a nice reminder where I can then tell my boss, hey, one of the winners of the Wave 8, Bill, hit me up. Oh, yeah, we have to send that out. Because once the show ends, you start the next.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll get that product by the time this is. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. He'll get it much, much sooner.
So speaking of product, I'll just jump in here and say that part of my function of going to these shows is to do business, to, talk to these companies about getting some stuff on this channel. Now, I only want to do stuff that's mutually beneficial to them and me, and of course you. And, that's a thing that I want to do with these shows. And I really felt obligated to go to the show because I really needed to get in front of some people. There are some relationships that have been cultivating for a long time that I really wanted to, sit down, break bread with people, whatever. And what a successful show in that regard. There's going to be all kinds of stuff coming. In fact, something came today. I have an entire pallet that I'll have from Germany next week. I just confirmed that today.
Germany.
Yeah.
A
pallet coming in freight. So
can't imagine what that could be.
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
yeah, it's Rammstein. Yeah,
that's the band. Cool. So there's all kinds of cool stuff coming in. Talk to the folks at Color
Brian's got 4 languages being spoken in his house.
Yeah, pretty much.
With all the lights.
Yeah.
What are the other 3? Yeah.
Well, one of them, I don't even know the name of it. It just came today, and it doesn't have a name. And I've got to actually talk to the gentleman who sent it to me and figure out what we're going to call this thing.
Thank you so much. What is this?
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So you did well. You did well. Yeah.
That was just part of it, though. I mean, what I was getting ready to say was, in that regard, it was a success. But man, did I just have a good time. I met so many people, so many new people. Jay has a new associate that is super sharp, Lily. I really like her.
She really is.
She's really cool. I got to know her at John's pub party.
Really?
Yes. We talked for probably a good hour. She's really nice.
That's awesome.
And, I just met all kinds of people. I met a lot of folks who are streamers. And I guess I never realized what a tight community that is. And I've talked to some of them about maybe, we could do a show about streaming, getting started, and kind of some of the politics of it. I met...
Dude, you're one of my godfathers, man. You were one of my first podcasters. Sorry, I had to say that, BSR. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't count. But yeah, it'll be... I just met a lot of cool people, and they gave me a lot of inspiration, and everybody was wonderful. It was all love, even some of these other, personalities out there who are doing content, or these influencers and such. They were all there, and they would approach me this time, and they were super cool, and got pictures with them and talked to them. I never really talked to these people. They usually just kind of do their thing, but they made it a point to come and say hi, and that was really nice. It just felt real friendly and cool and groovy all the way around. I was very happy. It was excellent in that regard.
Sound like this was very successful.
Oh, it was
for everybody. Yeah.
Well, okay, like Bill was saying, and everybody. I want everybody to talk. And John, I want to get your feedback on this too.
For sure.
But what a lot of people have said to me at the show, saying, "How was the show going for you?" Of course, I'm elated. I'm just having a wonderful time.
Yep.
Well, it's not what it used to be. Lady Gaga, Pitbull.
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of things aren't what they used to be, but that doesn't mean that you can't still enjoy yourself. Like Bill said, you walk in without expectations. And you get out of a show what you put into it.
Mm.
You don't show up and stand there and say, okay, make me an amazing DJ. It's not how it works. You have to get involved and you have to make the effort to make things happen. And so many people did. So many people that I talked to were having a great time. And they were having so much fun just meeting people in the halls. And I know I get slack from that from a few people. Oh, the show, we like structure. That's cool. I don't get that out of the show. I run into people in the lobbies, the elevators, the hallways, the parties, and I learn from them. That's where I get my knowledge, and that's where I get my inspiration. I don't get it from lectures. If you get it from lectures, I'm glad you do. I'm not a classroom dude. That's how I get it, and this is the show where I can get it. And boy, did I get it this year. It was really, really, really nice. Really nice.
You got it. I'm glad you had a good time, Brian.
Tons of fun. Tons of fun.
I'm glad you had fun because you have not been out much the last year or two, right?
Well, I go out. I go to Expo every year, but no, I don't hit every show like I used to.
But I'm glad you got a lot out of this.
I did.
I really am. I'm happy for you that
Opportunity.
you came back with a big smile on your face and it was great to see this.
Yeah. And I think Jay and I were kind of experiencing the same thing for a long time. It's like I used to see Jay like every 3 weeks. It's like, here we go, another show.
Yeah.
But I haven't been for so long. There's like, oh, well, this is actually kind of groovy,
This schematic. Somebody asked me that too. They're like, "How big is this show?" I'm like, genuinely, it's probably the biggest DJ show in the country.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm not counting Europe. If you count Europe, I know there's
nothing happening there.
That's what I've heard. I mean, but you go back, and yeah, you're right. You and I one year saw each other about every other month. I mean, I'm going to finally sit down and figure it out, but it's been a while. It's been like, I'll say 2008 to 10, somewhere in there. Pulse and I literally saw each other. He came down from Canada to work with me every month but November. Literally 11 out of 12 months we had shows. And I mean, you look at now, I'm busier now than I've been in decades with Pioneer. I'm booking 6 flights tonight for September, October, and December. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot, dude.
But, I also am no longer just showing up and doing the show. I'm involved in production. And there's a lot. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I've already spoken with Sean from DJX about setting up a meeting in September for next summer. Like, he wants this to be what it was and what it could be. And he wants this to be a massive, massive show. But it's the things like your experience, Brian, that he wants to bring other vendors in. He wants this thing to really scale. And I think this year I thought it was a really good show. I'm much busier than I'd like to be. So by the time I get out at night, I might blow off a little more steam than I need to.
Yeah, well, dude, you were so busy. I mean,
but that's it. I mean, I'm, you see me running around at midnight, 1 a.m. Having a couple of cocktails at Irish Pub. I'm on the show floor the next day at 9 a.m.
Yeah. When is Jay not busy at one of these events, though?
But that's
Jay beats his brains out, man. He doesn't have time.
Yeah, so it's not like the old promo-only parties that Brian's referring to, Lady Gaga, that Tuesday night. I mean, it was a crazy, crazy show. But what I kind of liked this year, and this was a complaint I've had about the whole YouTube phenomenon and the Instagram people, because I get away with a lot more calling people out than most people, because you don't want to really rock my world, because eventually you're going to ask me a question you need answered. So if I give you an opinion that you don't like, you kind of can't jump down.
That means don't piss off Jay is what that means.
But no, it's like, I'm going to tell you
I said before,
he's cranky. Don't piss him off.
Jay doesn't like redrums.
No, but
I need more. There's too much vocal to be called dub. Damn it! If it's got a line of vocal and it's called a dub mix, don't call it a dub mix.
Jay is prepared. He's the most prepared guy I know.
But the thing is, I liked how people interacted this year.
Yeah,
and I've been much like Brian. I get very pissy when you do a show and there's no talk about music.
Right.
And I made that statement to somebody. I said, about 5 years ago, I didn't have much hope in the future of DJing because it was a lot of guys in suits with a big smile. And I've got 5,000 followers on YouTube and I'm the next big thing. And not once did they talk about the art of being a DJ or the passion or
Right.
the desire. You know, oh, you on Twitch? Why would I waste my time on there? I'm like, well, because you get to go on and play music. It's what you do for a living. No. I'm marketing myself to a different demographic and I'm trying to find money. And like, it became too business.
Yeah.
And I think this year, for the first time in a long time, it became more DJ.
I ran into one aspiring rapper at the bar one night. You know, it was like,
only
look at my
one?
Instagram. But other than that, it was very cool.
Was it, tell me the truth, was his name Seed or Sheed?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, glasses, beard. Yeah, we all ran into him.
Jay's already aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
other than that, it was, you know, I was like, okay, God, what can I do for you? I guess is the question that you have.
Well,
for me, right?
yeah. I think you and I are the long terms at this show. Like, I've been going since 2006. You've been going since probably the same, 2006, 2007.
2008 was my
2008.
first.
Okay. There are people
Bill.
that came through the
Bill's the OG.
Bill, hold on.
Oh,
Bill's
yeah.
been coming for a while, though. Bill.
Yeah.
When did you start?
96.
Oh shit! Have you gone every year?
I've only missed 1 year that it happened. And of course, 2020,
COVID.
we all missed.
Right.
Wow.
And all you
okay.
got was one
I missed
shirt.
2012 and 2020.
Have you
all you
made
got was
friends?
That's why he's the awesome guide.
Have you made friends with people that you still see every year?
Freddie, you,
Ready.
Yeah.
Hey,
John.
But
Brian.
before
Yep.
COVID, before the whole Facebook chill teams, you know, the chill room and all that.
Yep.
It's amazing the guys that will come up, and even Pulse was commenting that will come up that we may not remember their name immediately, but we know their stories.
Right.
And and what I love is when this comes out and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, check out, I bought the new players. Look, here's my thing. Oh, check it out. This was the gig. I used that new thing I told you about last year. Look. And that's what I love about these shows, when people are excited to show you their work.
Yep. And I mean, other people that I've met, Brian and I stopped and we're talking to Tony and
Yeah, I saw
I
Tony.
can't think of his buddy's name, but they're also buddies with Jimmy.
Duke.
No, Tony Fernandez.
David Sporn. Yeah, it's Fernandez.
No,
and-
no. Tony from Baltimore. Tony D or Tony T.
Soprano.
Let me
No,
throw
but-
something up on the screen real quick, and you just keep talking. This is just kind of cool.
At any rate, I mean, there are people that that I see only at Expo that are from right here in Maryland, and there are
Right.
people that I see only at Expo that are from halfway across the country too. But it's it's just a pretty cool thing to have made friends like I have over the years, and Freddie is definitely a great example of that. You know, Freddie ran into myself and John Howard and other names escaping me. Anyway, Jake, yes, thanks. And we were all three involved in DC American DJ Association at the time. And Freddie comes up and starts talking. And you know, next thing you know, we're all hanging out the whole week. And I haven't seen John and Jake ever since then at Expo. I see John at least once or twice a year around here, but you know, Freddie, we'll even get together in the middle of the year a couple times if we can. But you know,
Was that Freddie
Yep,
that
my
Brian
brother,
just
man.
posted? Was that Freddie
Chris?
that you just posted, Brian?
Freddie's talking.
yeah,
No,
Freddie's
no.
talking. He's here.
Freddie's here. No,
He's on
what I just
camera.
posted, what I just showed real quick was this young man, Alex Brown, came up to me and he said, "Man, I was here," and he's young. He's real young. It's like, I met you 10 years ago. Look how young this kid is.
Yeah.
It is like, I met you 10 years ago, been watching you most of my life. Can we get a 10 years later picture? And he still looks the same to me.
Oh my God, that is.
Yeah.
I
It's
I
crazy,
knew that
that's
was the
why
same
I
too. I
asked
didn't realize how
you.
long ago.
Yeah, me and Brian Scott Red 10 years later at DJX. It's that
Oh,
kind of
that's awesome.
that I think is neat.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to, talk to anybody. I met people that had no idea who I was. I was talking to them and, hearing their stories and, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I, do this and that. And before long, of course, they know who I am and they're, looking at my stuff. I met this. Go ahead, Freddie. I'm sorry.
I said the Godfather.
Oh, just no.
Hey, you always get the honor with me, dude. So sorry. If you're not going to praise it, I'm going to praise it for you.
And
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I'm just a guy. I did meet somebody who I was incredibly impressed with, and I want to bring her in to the show one of these nights.
I heard about this the other night. Yes.
Yeah, she's sharp as heck. There aren't many people who can keep up with me with music when I start throwing out weird random things. I wasn't even talking to her. She was just an earshot. This happened twice, like 2 different occasions. She's an earshot of what I'm talking about. I'll mention an artist, and then without missing a beat, she's singing one of their songs off to the side. I'm like, how does she know this?
I love this. Yeah.
I mentioned the KLF, and she's like, Doctor Who. They were the Time Lords for a minute. I'm like, you're awesome. You are awesome. Somebody brought up La Bouche. He's like, oh, yeah, Boney M, Milli Vanilli, Real McCoy. I'm like, you and I have
Jay
got to be
familiar
friends.
with this female, by the way? I didn't ask you. Is Jay familiar with who this is?
No, Jay hasn't met her yet.
so.
I haven't even told Jay about her.
I would love her to be on one of these.
Her name is Paula. She's a computer coder.
Yeah.
And she's awesome. She's young. She's cool. She's pretty. She's always got a big hug for you.
I'm surprised Jay don't know her. He may even know her.
He's going to know her because I'm bringing her around.
I might know her by sight.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, when you're in the booth, you're going to meet 100 people a day that are like
you can't remember
hit and runs, or you go out in the hall, or it's like somebody says hi and you're like, hey, what's up, bro? Or hey, what's up? Diane's the only one that stops you on every occasion to take the selfie.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Jay. By sight, you might know this woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
And I can't remember everything.
She's very impressive. I got to bring her in. And
I can't wait.
She's super cool. She's very modest too, and she's a little shy maybe, but I think she'd do really well here. John, we haven't heard from you. Tell us something about the show.
What's up, John?
Yeah, it was a rocking show. It was busy. This is my 4th for down there, right?
It was nice to see Patty.
She was great company, and we were very envious of your Sunday night
always
steaks.
a friend to everybody.
It's like,
she's a good girl.
Steaks.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we'll do that Thursday. We're just going to do the same trip as you, but we're going to reverse it when everyone goes home. We're on the last
Did
day.
y'all go?
We did. We went to Doherty's on the Thursday night, so that was definitely a high point. So I got in on Monday. I didn't go for the extra day because we planned on staying the Thursday into Friday, not knowing that this Debbie storm was going to be a thing. But we drove, so it was 6 hours down. So we left 6 a.m. Monday to get down there. That takes a little bit out of you, So next year I might opt for the extra day to do the traveling on Sunday because I would have been more alive on Monday. So we get into town, and first thing, of course, our bill, 617 bill. So we're going to dinner. We're going to the Carmine's. So they're going to load you up with
Carmine's is good. I miss Carmine's this year.
If you want a 25-inch round plate of pasta or Parmesan, or that's the place to go if you're a big Italian food place. So that was dynamite. And we found out we actually had a secret connection to Ocean, that the one who runs the club over there used to DJ in Boston at Club Avalon.
Oh, really?
So we know that whole crew. So one of our guys, Chuck, was like, we got to go see him. So I got shanghaied on that. We got limoed over, and we got the VIP right next to the DJ booth. And was just kind of nice. And I had never been to Ocean because the previous year you prep and trying to do the setup for the Tuesday, and you got to make sure the gear's in the right place, and you're trying to get rest. You don't want to party too hard. You get a show to do. So that was a nice experience. I didn't stay. I didn't close the place. We got out of there about 11:30 because
it's a neat club.
It's a neat club.
When I was there, was a little disappointed that they had the balcony locked. yeah, but otherwise, I was really enjoying it.
Yeah, so that was cool. So that was the first time in that place to look at it. So we may have something that we can do there in a future year, because that's one of the sanctioned parties of the DJX. That's actually
Yeah,
on the
official
board, so to
thing,
speak.
yeah.
There's a lot of underground stuff going on too, like between View and between what we did at Irish Pub.
Mhm.
So we had a decent crowd. So Tuesday night was our party, our get together. So it was great to see everybody, have everyone come through, and much love to Diana for taking all the photos. And we missed you, Todd. You got to be there next year. Don't book
Oh man,
the
the break was nice. Going to Irish Pub, getting a little quiet.
Yeah, it
Have
was
a
cool.
little individual time to sit and talk to people.
It was a great time. Mr. Jazz got to spin, and yeah, we had some fun time there. And then the Wednesday, of course, we had the so Jay, sorry I missed your Pioneer thing, but I was setting up while you were having your thing, and it was nice of you to come by after the Pioneer gig. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Then Wednesday was the outdoor balcony, and we were kind of hanging around outside, Brian. You remember people were coming up and be like, "Hey, I watched your shows and stuff." People we didn't know just came up to us out of the blue. I'm like, "Are you watching our stuff?" So thank you to the viewers. We love hearing that in public, and
Really
just
happy
like
to hear that.
Jay dropped the word passion, and that's really something about the Atlantic City show, is that everyone loves what they do.
We were on
not
the
a job.
balcony.
It's a life touch. It's a life choice. You know what I mean?
We were out there. You were talking about people coming up. We actually got spotted together, which was cool. That's never happened before.
Partners in crime.
John Bryan. Hey, hey, guys, let's get a picture. And I don't know who they were, but we got a picture.
And I'm embarrassed for you, Brian, for that, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I mean, that never gets old, and that's always nice, and it's very flattering. So thanks to those that do watch, and that was a great thing too. And then that was the closing party technically, and we stayed the extra day just so we could go to dinner the following day.
It makes you want to just keep going and gives you a good attitude. You don't always get feedback from folks, but when you're there and
you totally come back positive after that, you come back on a new rise.
Yeah.
And there were so many things that I wanted to do that there just wasn't time, or I was otherwise, preoccupied. So apologies if I missed your show or missed your sets or at other places. But
and the show extended this year. Show was 11 to 6.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago, it was 12 to 5. So it extended to 6, maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly the 11 came up. And the first year I did the show was 10 to 12, 2 to 6.
Yeah.
And there was a 2-hour break where everyone would leave and
like
go eat and drink. The problem was they would all come back wasted. So you'd have all these, like the morning would be pretty tight. And then the afternoon, 4 hours would just be drunks coming through the booth.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you guys see the booth now. We had 8 demos, I think, this year we brought in, 8 demonstrators. The first year I did it, we ran with 10 or 11. And the booth, we had full truss. We had, I think, 40 55-inch monitors around the booth on the trussing, plus a stage. I mean, it was a production. We were spending boatloads of money for that show because we wanted to be the big thing.
Right.
And I mean, we were. We had
you still are.
biggest booth.
Yeah, but
but it's perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the sad reality of the show as a DJ? Because even though I'm there as a vendor, I'm still a DJ. I looked around. We were the only DJ gear manufacturer at the show.
Mm-hmm.
Let that kind of sink in for a second. All the equipment you can buy as a DJ, forgetting lights, forgetting fog, forgetting speakers.
Okay.
Actual DJ gear.
Yeah.
We were the only DJ gear manufacturer to support the DJs and that show. And you go back a few years ago and it was us and 4 or 5 other manufacturers.
Right.
Who make controllers and players and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of a sad statement. And I can't blame the companies 100% because I understand the landscape has changed so much since COVID. Because we have this. I mean, I see you and John. I see Bill. I see John Jazz. And then within 48 hours, I'm seeing John last night. There's John. I was just drinking with John on Friday morning at 3 a.m. And now here I am on Sunday, not even 48 hours later, and there's John. I see John. So it's a different, and I think some of the manufacturers view it that way too. Like, it's okay, the DJs will shop online, and they do. But I think there's a certain touch you get when you can attend a show and see people and talk to them and get honest answers about stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of just dealing with it through social
Well,
media.
especially the Pioneer product and the Alpha Theta product. I mean, that's a hands-on product. People want to get their hands
I
on
think so, yeah.
Yeah, they
And
do.
maybe they
They do.
can't afford it now, but I had guys going, next show, man, next year, when I come back, I'm going to show you pictures. I'm buying this. And it's like,
They
you know,
aspire for it. you know.
exactly. And that's a
Yeah.
great feeling. And,
Yeah.
you know, even when I started in 06, you got to realize 06, there was no Facebook. YouTube just started. Like, there was no Instagram. So we didn't have any communication.
Yeah.
Now it's like I meet guys at the show. It doesn't take much to find me on social media world
You're right.
or YouTube world. And boom, I'm getting all these comments. Man, great seeing you at the show. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Hey, man,
Bill,
awesome. You know, I got questions.
Right.
Can I ask you something? Absolutely.
Bill, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, a couple, but one is talking again about winning prizes or winning a drawing. I just have to say that one of the things that is always odd about the way DJX does this, and Jay, since you all do give something away for this on the weekdays or the Tuesday and Wednesday drawings, perhaps you should bring this up to Sean when you have that meeting. You know, they're doing drawings at the end of each day this time. Other times they've done it in the middle of the day or weird times. So this time they're doing it in the middle, at the end of the day. And the first day they do it, they're drawing from the big turn drum of all the cards that everybody's filled out. And they got through like 3 cheap prizes, and, you know, people after 3 or 4 cards, somebody was there for each one. They get to one where it was a $600 gift card for one of the software companies there, and they couldn't give it away. They couldn't find a winner out of like 20 some drawings. So finally they sort of push pause, and they said, all right, everybody bring up a card. And they didn't even have something to draw the cards out of. They were just going to pick them up off the floor. And I'm thinking, no. Finally, somebody got them a bag, and they used a bag. But they finished the drawings that way, and everybody was obviously there because they all put a card in. So the next day they do the same thing. And my card got drawn for mixed in key.
Oh,
And I was like, there's still a Pioneer something being given away, and there's still an Everse being given away, and there's still something from Color Key being given away. Put my card back in.
No, let me go in there running. Yeah.
And
this prize
I thought
isn't
about
good
that
enough for
after the
me.
fact. To be honest, I mean, you all know, I have no need or use at this time for mixed in key.
CD man. Yeah.
But I should have perhaps just taken it and given it to somebody.
Speaking of mixed in key,
I just want to make a note, Brian. Ungrateful Bill Marsh, who
Right.
right. in a Wave 8,
That's what I was kind of thinking too. You know,
should
hater,
always
fucking bastard.
be eligible in quotation marks.
or everything.
Parentheses.
The good stuff.
He's done.
It's the good stuff.
Parentheses. No, you know what?
They had some really cool. Like you've shown those wheels before that Pulse is showing you for mixing. Mixed in key.
Mixing key is actually really cool.
They had those at their booth. I wish I would have grabbed one of those wheels.
The circle at fifths.
Yes.
The chrome wheel.
Yes.
Yeah, the Camelot.
It's called the
I grabbed
Camelot
2.
wheel.
If you want one, I'll send it to you.
I would love one.
I got an
Thank you.
extra.
Because it was, I should have grabbed one and I didn't. I felt bad about that.
Hey, Bill,
By the
could've
way,
gave it
guys,
to Brian.
if you've ever done a holiday party and the client comes to you about mid-December and you say, okay, so, you know, cocktail hour, dinner, dancing. Okay, but around 9 o'clock, we want to do raffles, and our heart sinks. That's what it's like at these shows.
Yeah.
Because you're like, please tell me you're not, like the grand prize raffle, I think it only took 1.
Yeah.
I've
this
been
time
there
it
when
did.
they've called 6 names, and I'm like, guys, if we were doing a holiday party, we'd all be going, okay, let me just play some Usher, And
Well, yeah.
but you
Yeah.
can't.
But
The problem with party
so
raffles,
what I was going to say as
Good
a
point.
suggestion for this real quick, if I may, they should just do that drawing. I mean, they can still do it publicly, but here's the prize. Here's the name. We'll contact that winner.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
Yeah.
well, what they're
Because-
trying to do is they're trying to get you to stick around.
No,
So
I
it's not
know.
a ghost town. That's why
They
they
can
do
still
it.
do that, but
Put it on the screens. We have
Yeah.
access to the video screens. Just put drawing at 2:05. Yeah, it'd be great if you were here to actually bring some noise and excitement. We'd like to get a photo with you. But the worst case scenario, here you won and you have 60 minutes to come collect. And if you don't,
Exactly.
at 3:05, your name comes down and then we pull another name. That way you're not stuck with that famous raffle effect, which
That
is,
makes
Yeah.
more sense. Yeah.
Sure.
you know,
Final
you win,
thoughts,
you win.
John? Any you have a final thought?
If you haven't attended the show on the East Coast, it's well worth it. You get to run into
Yeah.
all of us. I mean, the energy was palpable. You know, everyone was really psyched about being there. It wasn't like going through the motions. Like everyone that was there for a purpose, either to go to the learning and the seminars or to, you know, attend the after parties, to network, to meet people. And I think
Yeah.
everybody pretty much got what they wanted out of this year, which was awesome.
Anybody who wanted to get something out of the show got something out of the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, if you put in the effort, you got it.
I will say one more thing, and
Yeah.
it's not to brown nose Jay at all, but just to end on a very positive thing. I felt like the Tuesday night sunset session that Pioneer did was basically the ideal every evening type of event to have
Yeah.
as an option for the people that want to go. If people want to go over to Ocean and, you know, go crazy and do the VIP booth thing and be in a club atmosphere, great. But I do think there are people who want to find a good spot to socialize.
They were
And
kicking us
even-
out of that place.
Even the downstairs main lobby bar is great for that, except that the volume ends up being too loud.
You
on
have a
the bands,
band.
and people, even
Yeah.
on the other side of the room,
Band's too loud.
can't have a conversation.
No.
Jay, I didn't come say goodbye to you on Thursday because I had no voice to say goodbye.
Yeah, no, mine was shot by Thursday.
I sounded like a kid in puberty.
Yeah.
By the way, the Tuesday night party, they gave us the option to extend another hour. And I'm one of the people that said, absolutely not. This ends at 8 because just like I've always said about weddings, the time a wedding should end is not when it should end, but when it shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we had a good enough crowd at 8 o'clock that I'd rather kick people out and have them
Yep.
think, damn, it's over, than
Always leave
at
them
9 o'clock have 6 people and me
Yeah.
going, that was
Yeah.
a
Believe
blast.
on the high note.
No,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
blast. I mean, you guys do this for a living, as do I. There's a lot of controversy. I obviously was super involved in that party, and I wanted it to be a success. And when I spoke with my people a couple weeks out, the conversation went like this. What do you guys think? 100, 150? And I shot out of the phone going, no, I'm thinking we'll max around 500. And everyone kind of laughed. And like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I did this at the Tropicana about 6 years ago, and we had about 500 people. We did a pool party for 1 hour, open bar, and it was a huge success. And I said, I expect the same here because people are coming off the show floor. 6:30 is still early enough. They may not want to go to dinner. They'll take a free drink. They get a view of the ocean. The sun's not down. Everything's working in our favor, and they get to see what happens when you set up 5 battery wireless speakers with no cables, what the potential is. And that's why we didn't have a lot of signage. Like, check out these speakers. I wanted that to be, and I used the Brian S. Red, Daft Punk, CDJ 400 chopping video as the example. And I said, Brian did a great video where he doesn't speak. He shows you how to make a loop and then speed it up. And you're like, oh, that's a Daft Punk song. Wait a second. I thought it was just a song. He made something else. I said, if we have too much signage, we're taking all the credit. Make this a thank you event. Make it a fun event, but quietly let people know if you have 300 to 400, 450 people on a deck, you can go out and keep them hearing the message, the music, the vocal with speakers that don't have any cables. And when they closed, they're like, how many people do you think were here? I'm like, 400 to 450. No, it was like 200. I'm like, no, it wasn't. You guys do this for a living. Do you guys have an estimate for me that attended? If you were there at kind of the peak, which was around 7 to 8.
Yeah.
It was
packed. I wasn't even inside. I was outside the whole time.
Right. And I don't know how many people were. I don't know how many people were inside. The point was to get them outside. We had one speaker inside.
Yeah.
And then the other 5. So we had 6 total.
Whatever the capacity of the balcony is, we exceeded it. I know.
Oh, yeah. I'm sticking to between 400 and 450 people.
I
think everyone had a great time. If you got a chance to eat, great. If you didn't, we didn't order enough food. We'll double it up for next year. But again, we wanted to give people a thank you. And here's a way to, just like Bill said, have a little network. Here's a view of the boardwalk. By the way, the DJ was set up in the corner because behind the DJ was Steel Pier with the Ferris wheel, which looks like Coachella. And I wanted that imagery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
I mean, I refuse to take all the credit because there was a lot of people involved. But from the word go, everyone kind of got the same vision. So it worked out really well. And I think that's what shows need. You need breaks here and there. I'm not the big club guy I used to be. When I heard the party was at 11, I'm like, I want to go to bed. And I ended up at the party talking to people till 2, and then came down and drank at the bar with John and Bill and some other people.
That's right. I did go up there and join you for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, damn. Oh, yeah, you were there. I'm like, damn, I have a 9 o'clock video to shoot out on the boardwalk.
Yeah, but that didn't stop you from getting your pizza at 3 a.m., did it?
No, that night I went straight up. The night before, Tuesday night, I got receipts that's so different.
Well, kids, we all had a great show. I think everyone can say that they enjoyed themselves.
It was awesome.
We'll be back next year. We'll probably powwow about this, figure out what we want our involvement to be. But, I mean, regardless, just on an individual level, I think we all had a good time. And if you weren't there, please come next year and come say hi, because it's a real love fest. So, thank you all for coming in and checking out the show tonight. Thank you all our participants for hanging out. Even Buddy, who didn't say anything, say something, Buddy, so you can get like a Screen Actors Guild credit for the
film. I gotta get.
Hello, everyone.
Okay,
I didn't go to DJX. I sure won.
Wait,
maybe next year, buddy.
Recording.